Let's continue now with combined financial statements are prepared by adding together similar items of assets, liabilities, income, expenses, and eliminating reciprocal accounts. So, for reciprocal accounts, we have the inter-office or intra-company accounts and transactions uh, of either the home office or the branch with external parties recorded in the normal way. Thus, the PFRS applies when recording these transactions. However, for internal reporting purposes, transactions between a home office and its branch are recorded in reciprocal accounts, namely investment in branch, account for branch current account. The home office maintains this account in its books to account for its investment in the branch. So the account title is investment in branch, or sometimes branch current. That may be used in lieu of investment in branch. So investment in branch or branch current account. This account is normally a debit balance representing the investment of the home office in the branch. Now, the reciprocal account of investment in branch is home office account. Now, or home office current account. This account is maintained in the books of the branch, and normally this account will have a credit balance. Normally, the branch maintains this account in its books to account for investments received from the home office. And normally, since they are reciprocal accounts, if you debit the account investment in branch, the branch will credit home office current. Okay? So, we call them reciprocal because the debit of one is credit of the other. Take note that the account investment in branch or branch current is found in the books of the home office, while the account home office current or home office is found in the books of the branch and normally has a credit balance representing the accountability of the branch to the home office. So it's a credit. Now, the investment in branch is an asset account in the home office individual financial statements, while the home office account is an equity account in the branch individual financial statements. These are accounted or these are eliminated when combined financial statements are prepared. A branch is treated as a separate accounting entity for internal reporting. However, when preparing financial statements for external reporting, the home office and each branch are viewed as a single reporting entity. Moreover, the branch does not have a separate legal existence. Now, the reciprocal accounts are debited, credited for the following. So, for the home office books, we debit the account investment in branch for the assets transferred to the branch. We also debit this investment in branch for the profit of the branch and for the liabilities and expenses incurred or paid by the home office on behalf of the branch. So, for example, the home office will pay for the rental of the branch. Now, the home office will debit to investment in branch. Now, for the credit, the account investment in branch in the books of the home office will be credited for assets received from the branch. So if you have intercompany transfers of assets, remember you credit it for assets received from the branch and for the loss of the branch. Now, on the other hand, in the books of the branch, you are going to debit asset transfers to home office and for the loss. And you credit assets received from home office, you credit it for profit and for liabilities and expenses incurred or paid by home office in behalf of the branch. So you will notice that they are really reciprocal accounts. Take note that letter A is debited by the home office to here to investment in branch, while it's credited by the branch for the account home office. And if the branch earns profit, the home office will debit investment in branch, while the branch will credit home office. And for the credits of the home office, like assets received from branch, that is debited by the branch. And take note that in the books of the home office, the normal account investment in branch will have a normal debit balance. It's really an investment. In the books of the branch, the account home office will have a normal balance as credit. So they are really reciprocal accounts. One debit, another one will debit, the other party will credit. Notice that for every debit in an account, there is corresponding credit on the other account. Therefore, these accounts must be equal at any given point of time. For instance, if the investment in branch account in the home office books has a 20,000 debit balance, the home office account in the books of the branch must also have a corresponding 20,000 credit balance. In case these accounts do not balance, reconciliation procedures similar to bank reconciliation must be performed. Adjusting entries should be made first before combined financial statements are prepared. This is normally the case in actual practice during your analytical procedures later on when auditing. Do check immediately if this account balance. This will save your time, not to mention from embarrassment and sleepless nights if you commit oversight errors. Accounting for branches is very common when auditing banks. Okay, so later on, you will have your auditing subject and you will understand the importance of financial accounting, including advanced accounting. So that if you do not know intermediate accounting, of course, it will be difficult for you to audit. That's why auditing comes after financial accounting. When an entity has more than one branch, a separate investment account for each branch is maintained in the home office books with the corresponding account number. The allocation of expenses. Expenses incurred and paid by the branch are recorded in the normal way. However, expenses incurred by the home office on behalf of the branch are recorded similarly to an investment, like debit to investment account and credit to home office account. For instance, costs which are incurred centrally are allocated to the various business units within a single company in order to have proper financial performance measurement for each of the business units. The following are examples of costs which may be allocated to the branches. A. Cost of maintaining information systems costs of contracts signed on a company level, such as security, pest control, insurance, advertising, and the like. C, depreciation computed under the group or composite method of depreciation and other general overhead costs. Combined financial statements are prepared simply by adding together similar items of assets, liabilities, income, expenses, and eliminating the reciprocal accounts. So here we have your combined financial statements. So we have the trial balances of ABC companies, home office. So the trial balances of ABC companies, home office, and branch are shown below. So we have now the trial balance of the home office here, and we have the branch, debit, credit. So in the books of the home office, you have the asset accounts. Then we have, take note, a new account title, shipments from home office. This is debited by the branch. Take note of new account titles, shipments from home office, normally a debit. Then we have shipments to branch, which is normally found in the books of the home office. So normally, the home office will credit shipments to branch. Then another is investment in branch, a debit. Then we have accounts which are normally found in the trial balances. Share capital, of course, of the home office, and share premium here for liabilities and shareholders' equity accounts are credit. So we have this in parentheses. Then retained earnings beginning. In the books of the branch, we have the account home office, and normally it's credit in the books of the branch. Reciprocal to that, in the books of the home office, we have the account investment in branch. Okay, so we have now your total here for the home office and the branch have ending inventories of 270,000 and 150,000 respectively. Now required, prepare the combined statement of financial position. Okay? Prepare the combined statement of financial position and the combined statement of profit or loss. So we have now your combined statements as required in our requirements listed. So we have the combined working paper, the combined working paper for first we have to eliminate the reciprocal accounts. We have to eliminate the reciprocal accounts. So what you are going to do is you just prepare in a working paper. So you have to list down the accounts in a working paper. I'll just guide you, and then your heading will be, since we are going to prepare a combined statement of financial position and statement of profit or loss. But before we can do it, we will first prepare a combined working paper. So your heading will be, let's begin with it. Your heading will be ABC Company, working paper for combined financial statements. So ABC Company, a working paper for combined financial statements. December 31, 20 X1. December 31, 20, X1. So what you are going to do is to merely copy all the accounts that you can find in the books of the home office and in the books of the branch. You just copy them. So in other words, you just extend to your working paper for combined financial statements. You just copy all the accounts. Okay na? So, we begin with home office, debit, credit, and then we have the branch, debit, credit. So, you already have two columns. Followed by elimination, third column, elimination, debit, credit. So, debit and credit inside the parentheses. So, elimination, debit, credit. Credit is open, close, parentheses. And the last column, combined balances. Again, debit, credit. Combined balances, debit and credit inside the parentheses. So in other words, in the working paper, you will have only 4 columns. You'll have only 4 columns. Okay na? I hope you're following. Right? So take note that all credits are inside the parentheses. Okay, so we now begin with copying to the home office debit credit column. We just copy all of this. Copy exactly all of this from cash up to your various operating expenses. So you have to get your total. Okay? You have to get your total or you may not get your total. Anyway, you cannot make the debit credit equality here because you have debit and credit is inside the parentheses. So you need not determine the total. Okay, second column for the branch. So again, you just copy all of this in your working paper. Just copy all of this in the second column of the working paper. The third column will be your elimination. The third column will be your elimination. But before you forward or before you extend to the elimination column, in a journal, you have to prepare your elimination entries. In a journal, you have to prepare your elimination entries. So, go to the journal, prepare, elimination entries. Number 1, you are going to eliminate the reciprocal accounts. And the reciprocal accounts are investment in branch, 827,000 debit, and home office, 827,000 credit. So, elimination entry A, debit, home office, 827,000, and credit, investment in branch. Debit, home office, 827,000, and credit, investment in branch. Then we go to elimination entry B. Now we have to eliminate these accounts. In the books of the home office, we have the account shipments to branch. It's a credit here, shipments to branch. And in the books of the branch, we have the account shipments from home office in the amount of 230,000. One is a debit, the other one is a credit. The debit is shipments from home office. So elimination entry letter B, debit shipments to branch. Debit shipments to branch. Since it's a credit there, no? Shipments to branch, we have to debit. Shipments to branch, 230,000, and credit, shipments from home office. Shipments from home office. So those are your elimination entries. Next, you proceed to the elimination column. Take note that the elimination column, you have only one column. But all the debits extend there and all the credits extend in parentheses. Okay, so we now begin with entry letter A, debit to home office, and credit to investment in branch. So extend in line with the home office account. Home office, in line with that. You can see it down after retained earnings beginning. So home office account, the balance is 827,000 being a credit. So in the elimination column, debit 827,000 in connection with our elimination entry. Actually, we debit home office and credit investment in branch. You can see it above. Investment in branch is a debit. Now you have to credit. So enclose that in parentheses. So again, home office, debit, and to credit investment in branch. You have to credit. So the effect of that is 0. Then the second entry is shipments to branch. You are going to debit. Actually, that's credit. So you are going to debit shipments to branch for 230,000. And we have to credit shipments from home office. Shipments from home office. Normally it's a debit. Now you are going to credit. So in line with shipments from home office, you are going to extend under the elimination column, eliminate 230,000 by a credit. So now you have the elimination column already filled up with 4 amounts. And of course, the total, you do not need a total there because it's 0. Okay, so we are now ready to extend to your combined balances. Debit, credit. Again, for credit, you have that in parentheses. Okay, first, we have cash. The total cash is 1,517,000. Total cash, 1,517,000. Then accounts receivable, 280,000. Debit, debit. Okay? Then we have inventory beginning combined 650,000. We have already eliminated shipments from home office. It's a debit and now we credit. So the balance in the combined balances column is 0. Purchases, we add 72,000 and 40,000. So we have 112,000. Freight in is a total of 40,000. Shipments to branch is already 0. Investment in branch is also 0. We have already eliminated. Then equipment, total of 1,120,000. Class, are you following? Everybody, can you follow?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello? O, sige ha. So,
Yes,
equipment,
ma'am.
debit plus debit. So, you have a debit balance of 1,120,000. Accumulated depreciation of equipment is a credit of 112,000. So, you enclose 112,000 in parentheses. Enclose it in parentheses. 112,000. Furniture is a debit of 140,000. Accumulated depreciation of furniture is a credit of 14,000. Accounts payable, credit 112,000. Take note in parentheses, Accrued expenses, a total of credit, 70,000. Share capital is 2 million. Retained earnings, beginning, share premium, 500,000. Credit gyapon. Retained earnings beginning is 206,000. 206,200. May 200 na class. Retained earnings beginning. Please make correction. That's 206,200. So we extend it under the combined balances column. Credit 206,200. Then home office already eliminated. Then sales total 1,400,000. Depreciation expense total of 236,000. 236,000. Then utilities expense total of 28,000. Mga debits ini. Then we have general overhead expense, a total of 11,200, and various operating expenses, total of 280,000. Then down, we have the additional information. The home office and the branch have ending inventories of 270,000 and 150,000 respectively. Okay, now using this combined balances, we are now going to prepare your combined statement of profit or loss. Okay, ABC Company, combined statement of profit or loss. So you just begin with sales. Sales here is 1,400,000. Sales, 1,400,000. Then we deduct cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold includes inventory beginning. Inventory beginning, 650,000. Inventory beginning, 650,000. Then we add freight in for 112,000. Purchases, anay. We begin with inventory beginning, 650,000. Add purchases, 112,000. And add freight in of 40,000. So 650,000, 112,000, and 40,000. The total is total goods available for sale, 802,000. Then from 802,000, we are going to deduct the ending inventories. So the total of the ending inventories is 420,000. So deduct 802,000, deduct 420,000. The difference is 382,000. 382,000. And that is your cost of goods sold. 382,000 is your cost of goods sold. We deduct it from sales of 1,400,000. The difference is gross profit. The gross profit of 1,018,000. Gross profit of 1,018,000. And then from the gross profit, we are going to deduct the expenses. From the gross profit, we deduct the expenses. Okay? So, depreciation, 236,000. Depreciation, 236,000. Next, utilities. utilities in the amount of 28,000. 28,000. General overhead cost. General overhead cost, 11,200, and various, okay, various operating expenses. You have your various operating expenses in the amount of 280,000. Okay? So your total of the expenses is 555,200. 555,200. Okay? So your net profit is 462,800. Net profit is 462,800. 462,800. That is your consolidated profit. Your consolidated profit. Okay? Then we go to the combined statement of financial position. The combined statement of financial position. We begin with assets. Assets are the following. Cash, 1,517,000. 1,517. Next, accounts receivable, 280,000. Accounts receivable, 280,000. Inventory for the ending inventory is 420,000. That's the ending inventory. The inventory amount that you find in your combined balances column, that's the inventory beginning. The inventory end is the one that you should forward to your statement of financial position. So your inventory end of 420,000. So you now get your total current assets. How much is the total current assets? Okay. Will you add the current assets and how much do you get? Okay. Add the current assets. Okay. And then after the current assets, you are going to get the non-current assets. Non-current assets. Okay. Equipment. 1,120,000. Accumulated depreciation, deduct 112,000. So you extend the difference of 1,008,000. That's the carrying value. And then you have your furniture, 140,000. Accumulated depreciation is 14,000. So you are going to get the carrying value of 126,000. How about your total current assets? How much is the total current assets? Do you have it? Class, pila ang current assets?
2 ma.
2 million.
2,317.
2 million.
317, ma'am. 170.
370,000. 317 or 200?
17, ma'am.
217 or 317?
300, ma'am.
300?
217.
200 lang ah.
217, ma'am.
2,217,000. And then you add that to your non-current assets. So how much is your total assets? Pila ang total assets? That will give 3,351,000. Total assets, 3,351,000. Then we go to liabilities and equity. Liabilities are accounts payable and accrued expenses. So your total liabilities is 182,000. 182,000. And your shareholders' equity, your share capital, 2 million. And we have share premium, 500,000. And retained earnings is 669,000. 669,000. So the total equity is 3,169,000. That's your total equity. So the total liabilities and equity is 3,351,000. 3,351,000. Our retained earnings beginning was only 206,000